There are financial experts who hate budgeting, but then there are so many other financial experts who say that budgeting is essential. So who's right? What should you and your partner do? Hey lovebirds, I'm Dan Hinz and welcome to Adulting with Money, where I help millennial couples unite, not fight over their money. There are two financial experts that have been making the most waves about not budgeting, and that's Ramiz Sethi and Sabatier. Now, Ramiz Sethi, he has his book, I Will Teach You to Be Rich. It is a wonderful book. I've actually met Ramit twice, and he's fantastic in person. Now, in the book, Ramit says, and I quote, "Forget budgeting. Instead, let's create a conscious spending plan. What if you could make sure you were saving and investing enough money each month, and then use the rest of your money guilt-free for whatever you want?" In the rest of Ramit's book, he talks about how he hates budgeting. Most people hate the word budgeting because it has such negative connotations. When I think of the word budget, I really am simply thinking a plan to use money to reach my financial goals. Much like a diet isn't always about losing weight. It could be losing weight, gaining weight, maintaining weight. Maybe you have an ethical reason that you're eating a certain way or a religious reason. So a diet is just how you eat. And the same thing goes for a budget. It's just a plan for how you want to spend your money, or invest your money, or save your money. And so I agree with Ramit that budgeting can be a real pain in the ass, but he's also looking at it as a plan. The other financial expert that really hates budgeting is Sabatier. And in his book, Financial Freedom, he says, quote, "Most personal finance books and financial literacy courses are built around budgeting, but maintaining a budget is too much of a burden and puts too granular a focus on small purchases, which, in the grand scheme of things, don't have that great an impact on how much money you have." And honestly, I agree with Grant. If you are looking too detailed at your money, it's a lot of work for not a lot of reward. But in Grant's book, he also has a chapter that's called "The Only Budget You'll Ever Need." Also in the book, he says there is a much simpler way to budget to maximize your return on your time. So yes, Grant hates budgeting, but he also agrees that you need to have some sort of plan. And that goes back to what I was saying with Ramit and how I define the word budget, is that it's simply a plan to spend, save, or invest your money to reach your financial goals. Both of these guys, Grant and Ramit, are doing great work. But when it comes to budgeting, we're really all splitting hairs. We're all on the same team. We all want you to be successful when it comes to money. When Grant talks about how you can be too granular, and also how Ramit talks about how it's really a waste of time, I agree with them as well. For example, when my wife and I first started to budget, I went overboard. I had a category for makeup and toiletries and cleaning supplies and home improvement, and we were spending so much time trying to guess and calculate all these numbers that it wasn't affecting how much faster we were getting out of debt, how much faster we were saving up for a house. So finally, my wife and I decided, okay, we're gonna create one bigger budget category, one bucket, that if we use it to clean ourselves, to clean anything inside the house or outside the house, it's going to be toiletries and cleaning. And if we're fixing anything, it's going to be home improvement. You should do as little planning and as little budgeting as humanly possible to get the same reward. If you think you're going to be too complicated with your budget, you could go the simple route. A really simple budget could have 5 buckets. You could have your income, you could have your fund money, your partner's fund money, some sort of goal you're saving for, and everything else. So as you're looking and tracking your money, you only have to put them in one of those categories and you're budgeting. The only problem with a really simple budget is if something goes wrong, you may not have a lot of information to make a better choice. My wife and I have been budgeting every month for about 8 years, and I'm thinking we might start to do it quarterly because our lives haven't really changed a huge amount, and so every month our budget meetings have gotten down to 5 or 10 minutes at a time. If we could get that down to 5 or 10 minutes a quarter, that would be even better. You don't have to be super detailed to be good with money. Over time, you'll get better and better, you'll get faster and faster, and you'll have a lot less fights. So, is budgeting a waste of time? No, not for couples. With Ramit, you can call it a conscious spending plan. With Grant, it's the last budget you'll ever need. Or me, it's just a budget. Eventually, you'll find the right way for you and your partner to manage money together. But somehow, you've got to start. And speaking of getting started budgeting, if you watch this video here, it's the fight-free way to get started with your partner. Or if you've been thinking about using Mint as a couple, check out this video here for a lot of great tips.